Okay everybody, welcome to part 2 of this tutorial that I'm making. I'm showing you how to make the Fofucha pen doll, or Fofu pen, as a lot of people call it. In the first video, I showed you how to get your pen wrapped up, put on the base, and how to put her little dress, like you see here. Now, in this part, we're going to be working on the head. Okay, which is the more complicated, because remember, I do paint my eyes, so we're going to be working with that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need the smooth foam ball. This is 1.5 inch, and you're going to need a square. I think this is like 4x4 of the skin color and a 4x4 of the hair color, because remember, we're wrapping up the foam ball half skin, half hair. So let's get started. You're also going to need your iron for this part. Okay, we're going to get it out. We're going to start with the skin tone. So it's like you see here. And we are going to start warming it up. I usually like using a piece of cardboard, just to hold it down, because it's a big piece. So you want to hold it down. You want the heat to be equally around the piece of your foam sheet, to make sure it all heats up so it can get flexible, because if you only get the middle heated up, the corners stay stiff and it makes it harder for you to stretch it on the ball. The better it is, because you could get a smoother look on your ball, on your foam ball, because there's a lot of people that don't get the heat distributed equally, and what it does, it causes ridges and wrinkles, and then, believe me, a doll head with wrinkles does not look great. Okay, so this should be pretty much heated up. Okay, so we're going to get our ball. This is the tricky part. Okay, it's ready. So it's a little hot too. Sorry, I'm not doing this in the camera. I'm like all framed because I'm trying to work. Okay, you start stretching it and stretching. There you go. See how smooth that looks? You want to hold it there until it cools down. It does not take a lot to cool down. Okay, so once it's cooled down, you can count like until 10. It should feel cool. I just rub it a little bit so it can stay cool, and look it. Okay. Okay, a lot of people like to cut the excess, because you're going to cut the excess off. We just want enough to so it could cover half of the ball. So all this, you're gonna take it out. A lot of people like to cut it on here. I like to actually take the ball. Look, it still has its formation. See it? Okay, and I like to cut along. First, I cut away all the excess and any little wrinkles that might have gotten there. Okay, then when you put it against your ball, this is how it's gonna look. See, but I see that I have less of the white area, so I just want to take off just a little bit more, just so when I put the foam for the hair, it won't look too back. There's more. You want to do half and half always. Okay, so I am gonna take a little bit more off. Okay, let's see how it looks now. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So what we want to do now, we're going to do the same exact thing with the hair color, what we did with the tan. You want to start heating up your foam on the iron. Okay, let's start heating up. Hit your iron again. Put your foam sheet on the iron. Get your little cardboard piece on top of your foam. And we start, hold it. Just like that. Until you can even feel the heat around and going through the cardboard. That's how you know it's almost ready. So, further to do, we can take off this part, our little face, skin color, and I usually like putting the ball on top of something. Okay, and you want to start stretching as well. See? As soon as we get that and it's cooled off, you take the ball out again and we start cutting out the excess, just like we did with the skin tone. Okay, so we're cutting off the excess, as you can see here. Now we're going to start measuring. I measure this part, the hair part, and I start adding the skin tone. And you see that I still could take off a little bit more from the hair. You don't want it overlapping. You want it them exactly touching each other, not overlapping, because it'll create a lump on the head of your doll. Okay, let me just take off an excess. And let's see now. Perfect. Let's see. I think we could take out a little bit more. Just a teensy weensy more. Okay. Let's see now. Perfect. You see that there's actually some foam in between the two, but that's okay because now we're going to put a strip around to cover up any ugly looking cuts and stuff. You always have to cover it up. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to add some hot glue. You have to be careful because the foam will melt. If it's really hot glue, like my glue gun is like comes out steaming hot, it will melt the foam. That's why you got to work quick. So you don't want to glue down. You don't want to put glue where the face is at. It's only at the edge. Because what happens is if you put glue, it will cause like little like air blisters and stuff on the foam, and then you ruin it, and then you got to start all over again. Always put the glue on the edge. It will stay. It's not going anywhere. Okay, let's start the other side, which is the hair color. And we glue that on as well. Any excess glue, just take it out. See, we have our ball. We have our face, and we have her hair. So then you're gonna cut a strip of the same color of the hair. I always put the strips of the color of the hair, okay? And here we're gonna use our super glue for this. I just put a little bit of dab of glue. Just glue on the strip, make sure it's there nice and sturdy because you're going to pull on it. See, you want to start, make sure it falls right in the center where your two pieces are at, your skin color and the hair color. This part right here, I always make it my bottom part of the face where I unite the little strip. So here it is. The face is all ready to go. We have the hair, we have the face. Now comes the best part of all, drawing in her face. Okay, first I like to do is find a center for the nose. I actually mark it where I'm gonna put the nose. I usually in the beginning I was putting the nose first, and then I just drew my eyes. Just put them there according to where my nose was at. But what was happening was that sometimes when I was done painting the eyes, I felt like there was one closer than to the nose than another. This nose wasn't centered, because sometimes I turn the ball to get good graphics on my eyes. So what I do is I get like I got the skewer stick, or you could get a stylus and something, and try to imagine where your nose is gonna be. So I just poke a little hole just to mark it. Let me see if you can see that. Oh no, it comes up. It's not coming up. But anyway, you mark it. You just mark it just a little bit. You don't want to poke a hole through it. It's just enough. Okay, there it is. You can see right there. Right there. Yeah. Right there. Okay, so I'm gonna do my eyes, work around that little dot. So let me get my colors ready, my little palette ready for the colors that I'm going to use for the eyes. The first thing you want to do is color out the ovals or the shape of the eye. Okay, let me clean my brush that I was using when I was painting the leaves. Okay, remember this, where you unite the little strip, that's the bottom. So you want to put your thumb on there so you know that that's the bottom. We're going to start working around the strip. The good thing with foam, if you cause any dents or anything, just get your heat gun, and automatically the heat will eliminate any dents, anything. Remember, the hole that I put to work around the eyes is not there anymore because I heated it up and it smoothed out. I am going to put it back in. There you go. Now I'm going to start working. Let me zoom on this so you guys can see. I don't know if that's okay, because I need to really work with this. If I stay quiet while I paint the eyes, it's because I need to concentrate. Okay, so you want to make an oval. This is all I always do this freehanded. I don't use no molds at all. And painting these dolls' eyes, try to get an oval shape. See? The glare, see? I already have one oval. Then I'm gonna make another oval. Now I look at it to see how they look. See? We have our two little ovals. I use my heat gun to hurry up the drying process of the paint. Okay, now we're gonna start doing the details on the eyes. I'm gonna start with the light blue, which is the blue that I told you about, the Island Blue by Deco Art. Okay, you want to brush your brush, clean your brush, clean your brush. Try to get it clean as possible. We're gonna start working on the eyes. Oh God, let me see if I could zoom in a little bit more. Is that the glare? The glare. Okay. So you want to go with the formation. You never want to go all the way down. You don't have to necessarily cover the whole entire eye with the blue because it's going to be covered in black. Okay, I turn it around, work on the next side. And start adding the paint. Okay, now to give the eyes more detail or more realistic look, I like using, grab the wrong blue. I like using do like a monochromatic look on the eyes. So I use two different blues. I use this blue and a darker blue, which is the bright blue by Apple Barrel. So what I do is this. Let me see if I could get this in frame. Okay, there we go. You have to have like a good pose for this. See how the darker colors blending in with the softer color, with the lighter color, gives it more detail to the eyes. All you're gonna do is trace over of the first color you put in, which is the lighter blue. Okay. Now what I want to do is start giving more detail to these eyes. So I do a little mixing with the lighter blue and the darker blue. And start just flicking. See the little lines in the eyes? So I get my handy dandy heat gun again to dry the paint off. Now we're gonna go with the black part of the eye. I just use dots because you don't really need a lot of glue, a lot of paint to make the eyes. I usually just put one drop on my palette, little palette. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna follow the oval shape of the eye. This time we have to go all the way around like that, and then just color it in. See how her eyes already has life to it? Okay, now let's start with the other side. And then go over it again, the black part, go over it again. Oh, there we go. See? Okay, now, there we go. Here we go. First, I go over under the blue part. Okay, now we're gonna go, you see it, the difference already? Now we're gonna go around the eye. This is the tricky part. Like I said, if you don't have poles for this, see how I'm going around, lining around the whole eye. There you go. See? You got it all the way around. Now we're gonna do it the same thing to the other eye. You can see the difference already. So that's how the eye's looking so far. We lined it around with the black, okay? Now, I like to add little streaks of black inside the eye part just to give it more, make it stand out more. Okay, I got some on my white part of the black. That's okay. I could always go back. Just go back. See how it's looking? So far her eyes are already coming to life. So now we're going to work on the eyelashes. I use the same exact brush for the eyelashes. Sorry if I'm quiet, is that I need to concentrate. Okay, I always usually do the bottom ones and the top first, so that way I can see. See? It's all simple. This brush is great for this technique. Okay, here we go. We got eyelashes on our little doll. Okay, now we want to put the details on the eyes. I usually just get like a regular stylus and just dab it in paint. So okay, so let's finish this off. Her eyes, I usually add 3 dots, 1 big one, 2 small ones. See how it's coming to life, and then we're gonna do two smaller dots. Look how those eyes just pop now. If you have chalk or eyeshadow, you can add a little bit of eyeshadow to your doll. Let's heat it up, dry it off. Makes it so much easier to work with. We don't want the paint getting spreaded around everywhere. Okay, now I'm gonna cut out my nose. My nose, with the big dolls, what I usually do, I use a paper punch, like the one you see here. But for the foam doll, for the pen dolls, how their faces are much smaller, I'm gonna use my fist guards. They're like so old. I've had them for like ever. Ever since I started crafting and scrapbooking 8 years ago, 2005, like 9 years ago. Okay, so you're gonna get a piece of skin color. And all I'm gonna do, just get it out. Okay, see it here? There it is. So we're gonna glue this now in the middle, in between the eyes. And there you go. We got our eyes, we got our nose. Now we're going to do the mouth and the eyebrows. What I use for the mouth, I use a Sharpie, fine point, ultra fine point. Look how fine that is. Let's do the eyebrows. I just start and just doing like a wavy motion. Like that, and then I just draw some dots. And there you go. Now we're gonna do the mouth. The mouth, I try not to give them there you go. That's all it is. Look how simple. That's it. Now, the detail work on the face, which is, I like adding blush. I like adding eyeshadow to these dolls. Makes it more realistic and makes it look more adorable and more detailed. So, for the blush, I usually just use a cotton ball. Right, and then just go to my chalks, go to my pink chalk, see, and then just swirl lightly. You're going to do it very lightly. You don't want to press it on too much. Okay, what a difference, right? Adorable that looks. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little dot on the cheeks of white. Like that. Look how gorgeous she is. Okay, now gluing this on. Okay, so you want to measure it. You want to make sure that this part of the hair, like the line or the little that divides the hair to the face, you always, oh my god, touch the, you want to make sure it's in the back. I've seen a lot of people, they leave it like this and it actually looks like the doll has a beard, which we don't want that to happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue and put the face down all over the top of the pen. Make sure you centralize, hold it, and there we go. We have our doll glued onto her head, glued onto her body. See? Now we're gonna work on the hair. Okay? Okay, you're gonna cut strips of the color of the hair of your doll. I already have some pre-cut. I'm gonna cut them in half because they are too long. Like that. We want to start, I'm going to give her side look of hair coming through the side. So all you want to do is just put a little dab of hair. Now we're going to pull this all to the side. Right? Like that. It's looking funny right now, isn't she? But we are gonna start pulling this hair to the side. And look how pretty it's already beginning to look. See that? Okay. So now I'm gonna work on the hair. Here. We're going to do the back now. The back, I really highly recommend, instead of putting strip, you strip and strip. I do highly recommend for you to measure. What I do is I measure it like that to that, right there. Okay? Okay, I'm going to cut a big piece off. Like the one you just seen here. And we're gonna cut this in half. And then the same thing we did to the grassy part, we're gonna do to this. Just cut strips without cutting it completely. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue this around her head. Not completely. How this side has no hair, so we want to make sure that gets covered. So I'm gonna put the glue. Sorry, I have to get my other one. I got two of them here. One is like dried up. Using my new one. Like from here. And start gluing. Go along the lines. Okay. The line of look how funny she looks right now. Yeah, the hair looks crazy, but we're working on it. We're trying to get it there. Okay, so now I'm gonna fast forward real quick how to get this hair all like it should be. Because now what we're going to do is that we're going to make some curly cues. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the curly cues, we're just going to add them in. Just chop off all this excess hair. And you don't need all this excess hair. It's going to get covered up anyway. Okay, so far that's how she's looking. See? Do their bangs in the back. Now I'm going to show you how to make the curly cues. They're very, very easy. You just want to get really long strips, probably as long as your phone. Again, and we want to do them like an 1/8 of an inch thickness. Okay, I get a skewer stick, like the one you see here, and I start wrapping. I just add a little dab of glue. Okay, and start. Wait, this one came out. Let me just hold on to it. Hold it on for a little bit more. I'm already having a mess here on my table. Okay, didn't want to glue. Come on. Okay. That glue from my glue gun comes out smoking hot. I mean, I've gotten blisters from this glue gun. This is a high temp one. I can't deal with low temp. Oh my god, it cools down too quick, and by the time you're gluing on your anything you're gluing, it's already all cold and won't stick. So that's why I love using the high temp. Okay, so now it's glued. You want to start twirling it. This is like if it was like an iron, curling iron for dolls. Okay, I glued the end of this one. Because what I did is I rolled it down halfway and rolled it back up. So when it comes out of the stick, the skewer, it would be like, you know, a curly cue going up and down. This is a pretty long stick, so I could fit all my strips on here. Okay, so now our iron, this is when our iron, we're going to use it. Just push everything to the side. Bring out our flat iron, and this is what you're going to do. You're not going to leave it on there. Okay, so what we want to do is push it up, go through the first one, and then push it down. Like roll it on here. Okay, so I could get that heat in there. I roll it all the way to the top of the iron, all the way down. You got to be careful because remember, you glued this with hot glue, and for gluing on hot glue, it could undo. Like it could melt the glue again, and it will come off your stick. It happened to me before, believe me. Okay, let's go through the first one more time. Roll it back down. There we go. And this should be curled. Then move our iron. I wait just a couple seconds so it can cool down, because this foam, as quick as it heats and it takes formation, that's how quick it cools down. That's why it's so great working with foam, these foam sheets, because you could do so much with them, and when you heat them up, it becomes like elastic. And it cools down so quick, so it makes your projects quicker, like you can work quicker. Okay, so let's start getting these off. As I'm just, okay, there you go. A little curly cue. So here's our curly cues. Look at that, isn't that cute? And what I do is I try to like open them up a little bit. There you go. That's how it should look. Okay, so let me just open these up. I do cut off the ends that have glue on them, so when I glued them on the skewer. Okay. Let me get my ends. Pull them out. Okay, now we're going to start putting this hair on the doll. Because after the hair, the arms, and then the embellishments. So we're almost done. Now we're going to start gluing this on our doll's head. Okay, let me just move it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Get your glue, and let's start by covering all this hair that was chopped off. you go. Now what you want to do is try to move it around until you get that perfect look that you're looking for. You need to glue a couple hairs down, a couple strips down. It's okay. The whole point is just a little dab of glue is enough to hold a strip down. Okay. How we have all this hair on the side, I usually don't put an arm on this side because of the fact that all the hair is covering that side up. Okay, there you go. Look at all of the strips that look like they were cut are all covered up with the curly cues. It looks like you just automatically brought all the hair and just curled it up and put it to the side. Look how adorable that is.